It was a dark and spooky night, just like this one, and I was the only one managed to able to do some commentaries, just like this one. Hey, what's up ladies and gentlemen, it is I, the one and only Tiana here once again, and I'm back for some more yet again for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Mario Party 4 for the Nintendo GameCube. So remember last weekend is the fact that we have managed to able to... Oh, finally I've now on to second place, but almost gone to first place on that turn order, but that's fine, because either way though, as you can see on screen, I'm going to be using Waluigi on this board. So because of that though, yeah, remember in the last weekend is the fact that we have managed to able to be completely done with the forms of Shy Guys Jungle Jam, and that was actually a really great board. Even though it still is one of my favorite boards in the entire game, mind you. So, for this weekend, it's the fact that we're going to be hit on to the third board in Mario Party 4, and this is known as Big Boo, well, Boo's Haunted Bash. I almost said Big Boo for some reason, because I keep thinking about, well, there is actually the forms of the legendary Big Boo in this though, which I'll talk more about that once we're able to look on the actual board. So the main gimmick of this board is these little bridges. And every time when someone managed to able to bypass those, you know, these red boos over there, that is usually always at the center of the board. Basically, when someone managed to able to actually get in contact with that, basically those bridges will disappear. But if someone else managed to able to see big red boo reappear, that means the bridges will go back on. And as a matter of fact, there's also a ghost train sequence, which it only happens when the actual bridges are gone, but then if the bridges have been come back on, this meaning about the fact that the ghost train will not active. And also, this is the only board to able to feature lesser amounts of happening spaces. There are about 2 of these actually, and these can be activated within 3 times every time when someone lands on it. If someone lands on it though, you notice with that specific big hand on that little clock thing, that actually represents when there's actually a legendary Big Boo, which did make a comeback since Mario Party 2. However, unlike in the forms of Mario Party 2, that you do need to require a skeleton key, and to top it off, that we need to let the actual Big Boo will happen only in the night. Whilst in here, all you have to do is basically just land on the happening spaces 3 times, and then if you do land on the happening space 3 times, this will activate the Big Boo. And it functions the same way as the forms of how it does it on Mario Party 2. Like, you still have the ability to able to actually steal everyone else's coins, and even especially noticeable, you can able to actually steal 3 stars from everyone. So, yeah, that might be seems the actual cool way for able to actually steal coins from. However, the only problem while trying to able to actually just trying to trigger, you know, the Big Boo in this game, is that I don't suppose that this might be actually be the only board that trying to land on the happening spaces is a lot harder than it looks. Just because it actually has a huge emphasis on the forms of, not only for the sake of those red bridges that we need to go across, but also that you need to able to interact with the forms of the ghost train most of your time. So either way though, that's as far as I can usually describe about the forms of Boo's Haunted Bash. So I think Boo's Haunted Bash is actually one of my second favorite board in the game, just because it feels a little bit simple for the most part, and it's also once again a spooky themed board ever since in Mario Party 2 Horrorland. So, but I do kind of prefer Horrorland a little bit more than the forms of how it does it on the forms of Boo's Haunted Bash though, even though if the fact of the matter is though is that in Horrorland managed to introduce into ourselves the day and night system. Well, usually in this particular game does not have the day and night system, whilst whenever we see Mario Party 6, then sure enough we're able to actually see a lot of emphasis on day and night mechanic. So, yeah, that's something's worth talking about. So, yeah, a few things we want to explain, and in fact I just managed to lose this minigame sadly. Yeah, today's day is of course the 17th of April today, in this case in 2021, and I can't even believe it's been almost like, well, 8 years since when the first ever Mario Party game on the 3DS has been fully announced, since during the forms of April Nintendo Direct in 2013, so Jeez, I can't even believe it's been 8 years ago now since when Mario Party Island Tour was first initially announced on the forms of Nintendo Direct in April 2013, back in long time ago, that it usually technically calls it Mario Party, just Mario Party, not so much of a subtitle just yet, but later on in the forms of 2013, they just managed to call it Island Tour, so yeah, that seems kind of shocking. Well, usually as far as I'm aware. And by the way, if you use the Mega Mushroom on this board, you will able to actually miss out on, you know what I mean, when it comes to the pink boo, or the red boo spot, and of course, you know, just any kind of events like I already mentioned about this earlier. So, anyway, so I think I do need to get the higher roll, even though if not, then like I just did right there. Well, at least I can hopefully try to land onto, well, let's just say Peach, for instance, then I would be able to actually get my chance to able to get myself an item from the item shop as far as I'm aware. Now, I do apologize if the forms of that background noise you'd be hearing, just because, once again, my dogs keeps on barking all the time, which, I do need to able to sort it out at some point later on for the forms of, for this whole entire recording, but thankfully you can only hear my commentary as well as the game audio as well, so at least you can able to actually hear those. So speaking of those opponents, that as you can saw, well, as far as you know already, if you can tell, that I'm going to be playing as Waluigi on this board. Well, usually relatively speaking, because obviously we have already seen him since Shy Guy's Jungle Jam, but because he was actually computer player's controlled player, I'm also able to actually play as him for once. So, and as far as the rest of these opponents wise, oh actually I'll get to more on that later, yes! Dungeon Duos, this awesome minigame of all time. Even some fans would really wish that this will return in the top 100. Anyway, help your teammates to clear all the obstacles in this dungeon. So, yeah, basically you have to do all sorts of obstacles, such as, for instance, like pulling up the lever to able to lower the actual door, and basically just rotate the platform until we progressed, and also trying to traverse through the correct pipe to go into. And the last part is the fact that we need to able to pump the balloon. So, well, the hot air balloon, I should say. So yeah, this minigame is so awesome because it's essentially you able to go through the entire obstacle course while you're trying to able to work with your teammates. So, yeah, it seems pretty awesome, all things considered. Even then though, why couldn't this minigame will make a comeback in the top 100? I mean, that's why I don't understand why that minigame never makes a comeback in the top 100. Like, it could have been awesome though, but unfortunately though, it's already been too late, so... Anyway, speaking of Mario Party though, is the fact that I'm sure that Sonic has already mentioned about this ever since in his very beginning part of his Let's Play of Rayman Raving Rabbids TV Party, that he'd already mentioned about the forms of how the fact that we're about to be able to maybe try to get the new Mario Party game at some point this year, but there's gonna be, we're able to actually put up with the forms of the entire picture documentary about the forms of what could possibly be what's actually up next for the next new Mario Party game for the Nintendo Switch. It could be either be, well, Mario Party Star Festival, well, despite that Sonic has already mentioned about, that game title is probably a fake. And as far as I'm aware, because it doesn't have any trademarks or anything else like that, so that could be a fake. And also it could be Super Mario Party 2 or Ultimate Mario Party, we have no idea just yet though, just because, well, we pretty much in a halfway point in April already, at least despite the fact that usually relatively speaking is the fact that Maxi, he's pretty much guaranteed that he's pretty much at the halfway point in Sonic Advance 3 so far, so at least expecting that he will finish that Let's Play off during at some point in this month, potentially. So anyways, let's go ahead and pump the balloon, and it looks like we have won. And it looks like that both Luigi and Peach are both stuck inside the pipe, even though despite the fact that they haven't come out of that pump the, you know, the hot air balloon. So yeah, we can able to enjoy the actual sightseeing. That's what Waluigi is doing right here. So yeah, that's actually pretty cool, especially noticeable because I actually really enjoyed this minigame so much, which I can totally understand why that most Mario Party fans really enjoy, you know, dungeon duos and stuff like that, which I appreciate about that. And it looks like Yoshi's gonna go onto the Ghost Train for the first time, or specifically the Mystery Train. So, you don't have an option to able to select yes or no, so you always have to force to ride on the Ghost Train. So, basically you can able to choose between which specific pathways you want to go into, and this is all depending on the forms of the actual gravestones. And if they approach the gravestones, then you're pretty much gonna able to actually just go into that specific destination. So yeah, that's how it goes basically when it comes to the Mystery Train gimmick throughout. So yeah, it's not much else to tell. So it looks like he misses his chance by able to steal something from Boo, to be more specifically stealing my coins. So at least thankfully he lands on the actual warp space. So he ended up with not only with Peach, but also with Luigi as well. So, and I got a 5. I probably might as well save up my coins, to be honest with you, because I get the feeling that I don't think I can able to get good enough items from that. So, and I somehow also got warped as well. And look at that, everyone's gathered up, all into one space. That's actually kind of random. And Luigi's gonna go back onto the same spot. Wow. 3 turns in a row with warp spaces. I mean, what's next? Princess Peach might able to land on it? Well, depending on dice rolls, that's the only thing. Will she? Oh, not quite, but she got an 8. So, in this case, oh great, another battle game time. Hey. At least thankfully though, we're on the halfway point in terms of the battle minigames department. Jesus Christ! 50! 50 coins! That's quite a lot. But thankfully, we're actually doing with the easiest minigame of the lot though, which is once again, Trace Race for the 3rd time in a row. So, yeah, we're about to dive right in, so let's get this thing to it. Alright. Hopefully, I should be able to actually grab ourselves, or grab myself, so a whole bunch of coins, even though that, well, usually relatively speaking, that's what I can honestly try to say here. So yeah, we still haven't heard anything new on Nintendo stuff just yet though, apart from, you know, we've only got about 13 days to go until the new Pokemon Snap will be releasing until at some point by the end of the month. So yeah, there's not much else to say. I suppose another thing I should probably explain about this too, that I was expecting about the fact that I was going to be able to watch another film during later on throughout my life, which appears to be by the forms of Raya, or Raya, and The Last Dragon, which I definitely heard some good things about it, even though despite the fact that it's only exclusive onto Demand stuff, mainly with like Sky Store so far, and especially noticeable with the forms of Disney Plus Premier Access, which I'm afraid I can't do that because otherwise it might actually be some sort of like related to microtransactions kind of stuff. But anyways, another new minigame, as you can see, we have Manta Ray Rings, or Manta Rings. So, this minigame is kind of fun though. Dive through the rings while swimming in the ocean. Each ring is worth 1 point. If any enemies hit you, you lose points. But if you go for the gold rings, then you would able to get 3 points. So, yeah, I actually do really like this minigame because not only we can able to actually just to swim on the ocean, or in the ocean I should say, but also we have ourselves this very interesting music in the background, which is only, you can only listen to that only in this minigame, which can't be the same applies to the forms of Mario Party 5 in one of those 2 vs 2 minigames that I'm sure that, although originally, I'm pretty sure that Maxi was originally going to be able to do Mario Party 5, but he decided to change his mind because I'm pretty sure he's saying that I think I should let Mighty the Armadillo were able to tackle through Mario Party 5, and then eventually Mickey Mouse were able to do Mario Party 6 or something, and then maybe Piglet can able to do Mario Party 7, and God knows when someone else is gonna do Mario Party 8. So, and Peach, just cover your skirts, please. You're just making everything else demonetized. Well, no one knows much though, really. I don't know. It has been a while since I actually know about YouTube stuff every now and then. But I digress. Despite the fact that most YouTubers complain about the forms of the most recent updates throughout the years, especially noticeable they keep on changing some of the systems as far as I'm aware. Oh yeah, something's worth noting for this point as well is the fact that you notice on these computer players department that I've got with me, which there are Yoshi ever since in, well, obviously just do a switcheroo where it comes to, like, I'm playing as Waluigi on this board, and then the computer player for Yoshi this time around for this board, because, you know, ever since in Shy Guy's Jungle Jam, then I seem to able to play as him ever since in that board. And also I've brought back Luigi ever since in Toad's Midway Madness, and also we did manage to bring Princess Peach as well, so yeah, that's something worth noting about. So, oh jeez, another battle minigame. Let's see if we don't reach 250 or something like that. Oh, Jesus Christ. Why is it always the highest amount of coins we're gonna bet? Oh, jeez Louise, man. But thankfully we're able to actually go and pick those two new minigames. Let's go for the one on the right. Which, if you recall, from the likes of Mario Party the Top 100, that minigame does make a comeback in that game. So, walk the narrow path without falling to reach the goal. And this is called Paths of Peril. And again, as I said this before, this minigame makes a comeback in Mario Party the Top 100, which, I'm alright with this minigame though, even though it kind of reminds me of Frigid Bridges from the likes of Mario Party 3, except the fact that rather than just taking those little blocks to the connected path to the goal, so we just have to navigate for the entire like long narrow path to able to lead us to the goal. So yeah, that's how this minigame. Ah, dang it! Oh, and by the way, if you ever play this minigame in the original form, mainly on Mario Party 4, you basically got carried by Clubdo the Clondor, whilst unlike the Top 100 version of this minigame, it's been replaced by Lakitu, which I have no idea why they just took down so many characters, or so many original characters from the past, and then replaced it by those generic common characters, which I don't mind it, it's just the fact that it kind of feels like a lack in originality department or something like that. But then again, I might be biased when it comes to the forms of some other things, you know? So, anyway. But at least I got myself 35 coins, and Yoshi got 16 coins, so I might be alright with this for the most part, when it comes to the forms of the amount of coins I got. Like, I got 57 of these coins, so that's pretty top notch if I have to say so for myself. And it looks like Luigi lands on the Bowser space, so it could be either be Mini Bowser or just Bowser himself. Well, according to the forms of the actual what the Bowser event might actually will happen, I'm pretty dang sure that since that Luigi hasn't got that much coins, or he doesn't have any coins, so that Mini Bowser or Koopa Kid managed to give him 10 coins. So I guess that's alright, even though it kind of reminds me like neat forms of how it does it in well, let's just say in Mario Party 1, and Mario Party 2, and Mario Party 3. And by the way, that pipe has no effect, because I'm right next to her. Because obviously, since she uses a warp pipe, and she selected me, and nothing happens, because since that we're on the exact same spot as each other, well, usually on the same space, nothing will actually trigger, so yeah, that's something, alright? Now, this board might take a while to finish, just because of the forms of too many emphasis on, you know, triggering stuff, mainly with, like, the red bridges, and also same applies to the forms of, the mystery train segments, which, might take a bit of while to able to actually get some of this stuff going. But, once you're able to actually realize that when some of these computer players keeps on getting low numbers or something like that, then eventually this board might go, might end it off very, very quickly or something. Well, if depends on the forms of the dice rolls, you know. I was normally I was gonna able to lose this minigame because I refused to able to let Yoshi trying to go after the very first star in this board, but oh no, we just have to able to win this anyway, just in case for the minigame star in the future, so oh well, no big deal, especially noticeable how the fact that I sometimes needs to win any other, well, just anything for that matter, well, few exceptions mind you, so but anyway, Yoshi gets a low number, which is 2, and I wonder what number I need to go for. 3, 5, 6, 7. I need 8. 8 or higher. 8 or higher. Thank you. Thank you, game, for able to actually listen to me with the actual response. And let's double check on the actual item shop. And, ooh, I might as well buy the glorious magic lamp. So that way I would able to actually use that, and hopefully I would able to actually add up 3 more coins because I might as well land on the blue space, and everything else goes all hunky-dory for this point. Well, at least as far as I'm aware for that point anyway. Although, kind of thing about it is that this board does remind me of a little bit on the final board in this game, but we'll get to more details about that whenever we get onto the final board in Mario Party 4. So anyways, the next star space is required to go onto either the mystery train or just activate the forms of the red boo to able to get the red bridges back. So it really depends on it though, really, because most of the time you will skip a lot of these events on the mystery train. So turn 5. So turn 5 within 20 minutes or so, which is not that long, but sometimes it might be a little bit too long, which mainly due to the fact that I already mentioned about this before, mainly due to the forms of some of these animations and also some sequences they have to sit through. So which I don't mind at all. Which either way though, we'll point it out until whenever we get into the latest boards or something like that for that matter. Alright, 3 throws again. And this time we're going to be able to toss my black basketballs. So that's the thing I always loved about the forms of the Hudson Soft Mario Party games as well. That most of these playable characters do have their different color schemes with their specific objects. Mainly with, like, for example, Luigi's tossing his blue basketballs, and then Yoshi's tossing the green basketballs to represent his color, and also Peach's tossing the pink basketballs, which is, you know, trying to represent it with her dress and everything, and also Waluigi's tossing the black basketballs to try to match his color, I suppose? Well, at least unlike the forms of how it does it on the forms of, well, specifically certain NT-Cube Mario Party titles, as far as I'm aware, that they don't manage to able to actually get their own color schemes with their specific objects, which I do miss those days, but I digress. Alright, so it looks like Yoshi's gonna use his mini mushroom for whatever reason. By able to actually, God knows, until when he just decides to get the low number, perhaps? Or maybe, just maybe, that he's probably trying to able to purchase something. Like, for instance, he's purchasing the Super Mega Mushroom. So, yeah, I might as well able to stay away from him. Well, at least specifically if he's trying to use it. Although, conveniently enough for me though, I was gonna able to hop onto the mystery train anyway, so what's the point of trying to able to panic? Or, to be more specifically, since I got my magic lamp, this mini I can able to get away from Yoshi in time, so yeah, that usually goes all fine and dandy for me. So, I digress. Oh, and another thing it's worth noting for is the fact that I managed to able to actually just play some of my games on my own time. Specifically, another one of those games I would like to try out and give it a second chance, which is Wario Master of Disguise recently, mainly due to the fact that I was now into the forms of the Wario platformer games now, even after the forms of whenever I managed to fully got Wario Land The Shake Dimension back in long time ago, even though I haven't really played that much of that game for a while. Just because I realized is that there is actually more Wario Land games, whatever I do not know to realize. Like, I do know there is one of them on the original Game Boy, well, at least if you want to. Oh, Luigi got owned! That's the second time that happened, when someone managed to land on the same spot, as soon as when the start space usually appears on that spot. Ah, jeez, what is going on with this? But I digress. So, because usually I already managed to completely done with Wario Land, Super Mario Land 3, and also I've managed to complete Wario Land 2 and Wario Land 3, and especially noticeable with Wario World. So basically I'm now on the halfway point of the entire Wario platforming series. Like, obviously I'm working on Wario Master of Disguise right now on the DS, despite how most people get mixed feelings with this game, mainly due to the forms of too much tedium or something, or maybe it's because it's more accurately not only platforming, but a minigame hybrid of anything else. Like, usually has a combination of certain platforming challenges ever since in Wario Land, and minigame microgames ever since in the WarioWare series. So it's like a hybrid between the two. So I might be alright trying to able to give that game a second chance, and yeah, I actually found it alright. Not one of my favorites in the world, but at least it's alright, as it is for me. And once I'm done with Master of Disguise, I can probably head on to Wario Land 4 to try to able to completely done with normal mode. And I might try to go after the challenge a bit by going on hard mode afterwards, and then super hard mode afterwards as well. Well, wish me luck on my own time, just because, wow, both hard and super hard mode on Wario Land 4 is actually a lot difficult with what I've heard, but anyway. And eventually I'll get on to Wario Land Master of the Shake Dimension, and then that'll be it for the Wario platformer games as far as I can remember. But anyway, and if you're probably wondering why I just keep on having a bit of a weird commentary at the moment, just because I'm doing some ridiculous button mashing on right or left. So, but thankfully, new record! My first new record in Mario Party 4. Just about 70 milliseconds behind, so new record! Even though not by much though, not by much. But that's fine by me, because I would like to show you guys what the new records, how it usually goes within the Mario Party series, as far as I'm aware. Although, mind you though, is the fact that, unlike Mario Party 1 and Mario Party 2, and Mario Party 3 as well, you're no longer going to be able to be hearing that special, new record jingle once they able to say, like, I am the winner, or anything else like that. So, even then though, they will bring back the minigame, new record, jingle until Mario Party, 5, Mario Party 6, 7, 8, and, DS as well. So, yeah, that's something that usually needs to be worth noting for. So, alright, so Yoshi's gonna go to the right. And basically, I think what he was trying to do is... Oh, he's not gonna meet up with that boot house because he was kind of worried if he was gonna bypass it completely. So, I totally get that. I totally get the idea there, Yoshi. So, I was gonna go to... I might as well go down there. Even though I was gonna able to try and buy another item, but I might not risk it too much though, to be honest here. So, anyway. And it looks like Luigi's gonna use his, Mega Mushroom to not only flatten Peach, but possibly try to flatten Yoshi if he's lucky enough. So, I bet he might be able to try to do that. So, 10 and 5. 15. 15 is like a... Oh, wait a second. Peach hasn't got enough coins. I mean, what's the point, Luigi, if you're able to use this? Although, mind you, that he will, oh, he's not gonna flatten Yoshi. Oh, jeez, I wasn't paying attention. I'm truly sorry for this point, guys. But anyway, turn 7, so... Looks like we are getting there. We are getting onto the halfway point of this, though, for a little bit. But, hopefully we will, at some point, so... Alright, so we have 4-player minigame. I'm not sure if it's possible that... I think we only got about 2 minigames left on the 4-player minigames department. Like, I think there is Paratrooper Plunge and also Bob-omb Breakers, which those are the only 2 minigames that we have not played yet in the 4-player minigames category-wise. And look, we're actually going to be finding those boos. Get it? Because we're on the haunted, you know, Boo's haunted dashboard. So this meaning that we can able to find those boos. So how much of a coincidence that is? We're able to try to find the 3 of these NPC hosts characters, despite they don't wear costumes, unlike the actual the main boards themselves. So anyway, I get the feeling, yeah, the boo was actually on the third and final boo was actually on the last 2 doors. But thankfully I did manage to got all 3 of these, so huzzah for me. So, yeah, I'm quite surprised that we pretty much almost at the halfway point in terms of Mario Party 4. Until whenever we get on to the forms of the extra features in Mario Party 4, Although, again, we've already mentioned about this several times already, ever since in the forms of, let's just say, the majority of the N64 Mario Party Let's Plays, that whenever you get onto Mario Party 5, 6, 7, and 8, that basically some of these extra features are tons, like tons of replayability with those modes, which we'll point it out until whenever we get into it. And dang it, I just got 2. Oh well, maybe until the next turn, I would possibly try to get a higher roll. I'm hoping I don't get 2 or 3 though, because if I get 2, oh speaking of 2, Luigi's gonna warp into, I would say right next to me. I think my guess he'll try to aim for me. Is he? Yep, I just know it. So, and I was really hoping I don't get 2, because otherwise, since that we've seen Mini Bowser on the first Bowser space, but I highly imagine that if there's a rare occasions where sometimes Bowser will appear, or other times it will be most commonly will be Mini Bowser or Koopa Kid, so... And it looks like Peach is gonna join with Yoshi for warping, so even though if she was gonna able to... Oh, if she was just right next to him! Okay, that sounds a bit weird at first, with the actual, distance there. But anyway. Ah, great. Cheap sweep. I'm not a big fan of this minigame, though. Easily the worst 2 versus 2 minigame in this game, because, well, I'll get into more details about that whenever we dive right in, so... Catch the cheeps in your net. Red cheeps are worth 1 point, and yellow ones are worth 2 points. So here's the thing about this minigame though, is that since we're going to be catching those cheeps by utilizing the net, but here's the thing though, the more you get closer to them, basically, they'll just get freaking scared of you. And as a result though, that you can't able to run fast with it either, so yeah, I'm not a big fan of this minigame. It's quite easily, it's kind of the lamest minigame in the world, along with the forms of this unfair moments in making waves, alongside with Candlelight Fight. That, seriously, Candlelight Flight is definitely one of the worst minigames in this game, in my opinion, just because it's so unfair. Mainly with, like, the single player can only run away, and the Super Circus controls-wise is absolutely terrible. But apart from those side of things, though, there's not much else to say about this. Even though, mind you, there are quite a few minigames that haven't said anything quite worse just yet, though. Even though there's actually that disarmable mentioned particular minigame, which, although I'm probably not going to explain about this right now, just because, well, as you can tell, that we are still catching this last freaking cheap. Even though, despite that, I believe me and Peach did manage to win this still. So, because of that, we won by 1 point. 1 cheap by able to claim our victory right there. That's top notch. Although originally I was gonna able to bring back DK onto this board, but maybe we should probably save that up until specifically the next board, which I'll talk more about that until whenever we get onto Sunday. So hopefully we'll able to mention that. So. Alright, so it looks like Yoshi's gonna use his Mega Mushroom, so I'm guessing he's tried and flattened not only me, but also Luigi as well. So, but does he has got enough? Well, we'll just see. Nope, just about few or 3 spaces ahead, or 3 spaces away, I should say. So, alright, so, darn it! Jeez. Okay, here we go. I'm not looking forward to this though. Especially noticeable how, well, we'll just... Oh, jeez! Bowser just scares the life out of me. But anyway. And we got ourselves the Bowser game. Well, this is the first time ever we're going to be seeing the first Bowser minigame in the entire Mario Party series. Well, to be more specifically in this game. So, yeah, sometimes it can be divided into a few different categories with Bowser events. Although, usually, relatively speaking, is the fact that the event we are doing right now is the Bowser game. And the minigame we are playing is, oh boy, Fruits of Doom. Oh boy, I can totally see that coming. But, we'll just have to go for it anyway, so... Alright, let's see what his food he wants. Grape, banana, grape. Oh, jeez, I think I've lost count now. Especially that it doesn't help that the actual grocery list managed to able to scroll fast. I do know one fruit I can think of is grape, but we'll give it a go. But eventually it gets a little bit too trickier, and also it's kind of long too. You know, think of like how it does in the forms of the Game Guy spaces for Mario Party 3, but except thankfully it's no longer going to be Gamble Fest, luckily. And also that it's going to be Bowser focused minigames as opposed to gamble stuff. And well, at least thankfully you don't have to like, well, you might lose the minigame if you do manage to able to screw things up a bit. So yeah, something's worth noting about. But here's the only problem I have with these Bowser games compared to the forms of the sequels, which is Mario Party 5, Mario Party 6, and maybe a little bit on Mario Party 7, even though, mind you, Mario Party 7 does have a lot of emphasis on, well, in one of those gimmicks being the forms of, or the main mechanic, which appears to be Bowser time events, and as a result, it will drag on the game for quite a lot. And believe me, whenever we get on to Mario Party 7, oh boy, you may see nothing yet. So, well, in terms of the game lengths though, so I digress. But usually, unlike Mario Party 5 and Mario Party 6, that those Bowser games do tend to able to actually go by a little bit shorter, which I'm alright with that, especially noticeable how the fact that, well, it really depending on the forms of these different amount of events they're able to bring us into. Like, for instance, in the Bowser spaces, if Bowser shows up, there are a few bunches of events, mainly with like Bowser game, which leads us to the Bowser minigame, and also another one which is the forms of Bowser Revolution, which kind of does the same thing as the likes of the ones in Mario Party 1, 2, and 3, and yeah, that's pretty much about it. And I do apologize for that background noise you'll be hearing, because I'm pretty sure Sonic he's pretty much going to be able to doing some spring cleaning once again. And despite the fact that, usually relatively speaking, he was actually having himself, you know, a whole bunch of chili dogs every once in a while, and to top it off, that he's gonna have his nice little relaxation during the forms that, well, God knows what weather it is today, but even then, I think I actually lost count on what weather it is today, so yeah, forgive me on that part. So yeah, anyway, so it looks like that Peach just managed to choose the grape, so will she ever pass through this? Well, I highly doubt it, she will be, because yeah, she did pass that, so. And however, unlike the forms of how it does it on the forms of Mario Party 5 and Mario Party 6, and even Mario Party 7, that when it comes to the Bowser minigames, the only player who's the loser, mainly with like only one loser player, we're able to lose everything. It could be either be items, half their coins as what it's shown in the forms of this particular minigame, for instance, or all of your coins, and I think that's about it. So no stars to be taken, so until, well, let's just say Mario Party 6, or possibly Mario Party 5, and mainly on Mario Party 7 as well. So I have to take a guess here. It could be either be an apple or something, and if not, then I think I might as well lose this, haven't I? Yep, I've lost. Screw this minigame. Even though, mind you, thankfully it's the half coins, not all the coins, luckily, so, but still. You can't deny about the fact that you have to go for this whole entire ordeal when it comes to the forms of Bowser minigames, for sure. But I digress. Yeah, take my half my coins, but at least, thankfully, I've still got enough for able to actually get myself my third star purchasable when it comes to this board, so, well, at least if, yeah, you know what I mean. So Luigi bypasses a star because he hasn't got enough coins, so I think he was off by 6, I believe. So, yeah, that's something worth noting about. Hey. But usually, relatively speaking, when it comes to those Bowser minigames, there are about 3 of these Bowser games. Like, one of them, which we already done, is Fruits of Doom, which, ironically, back in junior forms of the earlier days of my life, that I can never seem to able to get that minigame. Oh no. Oh no, not this minigame again. Oh jeez, I think I might seriously get screwed on this minigame though, again. And because of that, I'm going to be doing on the team of 1 again. So this is the second time in a row I have to do this. But seriously, this is so unfair with this minigame. I mean, just watch. Watch this. I just got cornered, and to top it all off, I just got, like, sometimes the hit detection on these little super soakers are way too big, so as a result, I just might as well able to, yep, I just lose anyway. So that's literally, it's so unbeatable in a team of 1 while trying to deal with those computer players. Oh, jeez. I'm still not a big fan of this minigame though, easily the worst. Aye. Oh well, no big deal. At least I think I'm still in the lead when it comes to the minigame star. I highly doubt it. But anyway, I think we're on turn 10 if I recall correctly. So, at least thankfully I'm also able to try to still get enough coins. So that way I can able to get the star easily. If I need to get a better roll than 1. And thankfully I didn't. So, at least I'll take 6 any day. So, yeah, I need that freaking star, please. Even though despite the fact that I managed to got 3 stars so far, but no one else actually got the star yet, so I'm sure that's something, alright? Alright, the next star space is gonna be right next to the battle space and the blue space, and that's pretty much about it, so I'm sure enough Yoshi might able to actually get the magic lamp at some point. But we'll see what happens in Drain at some point in the next few turns. So, and Luigi gets a 1, which is a pretty slow movement for him. So, 3. In this case, Peach gets a blue space, just like any turns or something. Alright, another 4-player minigame. And we basically played these, basically, so, except for the other 2. Which, again, thankfully, just like in the Mario Party 9, Mario Party Island Tour, Mario Party 10, Star Rush, the Top 100, and also Super Mario Party, and Mario Party 1, Mario Party DS, and Mario Party Advance, Mario Party 2, and Mario Party 3, I pretty much organized with the actual minigames list, so that way we can able to show you guys every single minigames of how this game offers us to. So, although mind you, I think there are about like 62 minigames, which is a bit lesser compared to the forms of how it does it in the, well, let's just say in Mario Party 3. Well, at least I'm fine with that, so, anyway. But whenever we get on to Mario Party 5, though, as well as Mario Party 6, that, those games do have a whole bunch of minigames, in addition with Mario Party 7 as well. Thanks to the forms of one of those extra modes that you can able to, well, detour around. So, dang it, Yoshi got 1. But, I'm still in the lead, so hopefully I should be able to win this with all these considered. Alright, so it's red. Dang it, Luigi got it before me. Okay. I seriously need to be able to get this finished. Please be orange, please be... Okay, it's red again. Yay, I win! Whew! Thankfully, I can able to actually just to be still up ahead when it comes to the minigame star. But, I really don't know of the coin star yet, though. But we'll see what happens there.